So like I said, people just, it depends on the subject. It depends on the person.
No, it's true. You're right.
Not everybody has it in them to contain themselves, even if they don't like the subject.
You bring up a good point, but I think it's about how deep people feel threatened. Because, for example, I grew up religious. I grew up Catholic, very Catholic. And then later in my early adult years, I became a Protestant, got involved in evangelical church, and I'll spare the whole story about that. But for the first 30 years of my life, the church was such a mainstay, such a vital part of my social life, my work, my belief system. And I've changed and evolved over the years, I think for the better, but a lot of people would take issue with that.
Right.
It's almost like if you said to somebody, well, I don't believe in God, and someone that is a staunch believer in traditional Christianity, for example, I'll use that because that's where I came from. Or any God, whatever any person's belief could be, Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, whatever. Why does it have to be so volatile? All right, you believe in God, you don't believe in God, but you're still human beings. It doesn't mean that you have to hate the other person because they don't share your beliefs.
Right. Right.
Not that there's something that's threatening to a certain number of people that they can't, like you said, to contain themselves. Well, how could you not believe in God? And
it's the same, right? There is a containment, and then it's almost as if like they feel, and that has nothing to do with religion either, because I know this is going to sound like it has to do with religion. I'm talking about any subject.
Politics.
People will feel, right? Politics is one of the worst, and I said that the last time. Politics is one of the worst because if you don't agree with somebody because of who they voted for, most of those people will have you condemned, and that's it. You can't talk to them. You can't be friends with them. You're a fucking moron. You're an asshole. Your whole families are assholes. You chose Biden. Oh, you chose. And it doesn't. This goes through every presidency. It doesn't matter. It's ridiculous. We all have the right to choose who we like and what we feel. It has nothing to do with you yourself.
Well, I think people equate it with the values that they believe in or the values.
But you don't condemn somebody or just not talk to them no more. Well, I told you this the last time. I had a friend that because he said something and it had nothing to do with what she was talking about. She literally unfriended me and stopped talking to me. And we had over a 30-year friendship.
Wow.
Same thing with your wife when she said something political on her thing. They unfriended her. Remember a couple of years ago?
No. But it's a good point, though, because it happens. It's happening.
How do you not remember that?
I don't know. What's your name again? No, but it's happening more and more frequently. And I think it's because they feel threatened. That's why I used the example of an atheist versus a religious believer. The dichotomy or the contrast is that great now. It's like a Republican versus a Democrat or a conservative versus a liberal is almost just as a polar opposite as someone who believes in God and someone who doesn't. It's almost how big the gulf or gap seems to be. And it's not really true. I mean, again, if we don't figure out how we can get back to still working together within having differences, this country is going to have continued deeper problems, no matter who's running the government.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter, because if anybody believes that any political party is really the total answer, they're delusional. It's not that the Republicans are all bad and the Democrats are all bad, and it's I said this before. I think it was Eisenhower, who was a Republican in the 50s, 2 terms, said the best government, I'm paraphrasing, is both conservative and liberal. But how you put those two together, how do you, in terms of what policies, and I think people have just become so dumbed down, the things that we focus on, how we get our information, just because broadcast on some television program where somebody posts something. It doesn't mean it's true.
No.
It doesn't mean it's real, but some people, it's almost like people want to find others that agree with them. Not that they want to find people that.
Right. It's almost like they're brought up to, I can't explain it. It's like they're almost afraid to.
And I'll go for myself. That's really where I was coming from. When I look at my background, I'll make it personal. So with my staunch religious background, and when I was exposed to other beliefs that were so contrary to how I grew up, I felt threatened. A lot of my ignorance, I didn't understand another person's philosophy or different religion or their way of life, and nor did I want to understand, nor did I want to look at it or learn about it. This is what I have, and you can't take this away from me, and this is mine. And but not that they were trying to do that. They were saying, well, this is my life. I believe in this, and this is how I live. So I think it was a lot of I'll speak for myself. A lot of insecurity, a lot of fear, because I realized that there's
also a lot of promise in that. There's also a lot of promise.
What do you mean?
Like, how could I explain it? Like you say you're Catholic, and then you got somebody Protestant comes along and starts to talk to you, and you're like, no, thank you. I'm Catholic. I'm gonna,
Right.
And then they go, no, there's I'm not looking to. And then they start talking to you and go, do you know about God and this and that? And then you're sitting there, you're listening to them because they talk really well. And you're taking in all the information, and things are starting to go, oh, you know what? They're kind of right. Like, I can't explain. Like, you get lured into someone, and then they try to turn you into.
Oh, they try to the term is proselytize. They try to convert you, but
right. Or when you read into things, like you obviously went from Catholic to something else because you had to read into it. Or somebody had to talk you into it.
Well, I learned and I embraced it, and to me, I felt at that time I felt good about those choices.
Right.
But then there came a point in my life that I said, you know what? Now I'm going to make it and it was very, very gradual. It didn't happen, automatically.
No, of course not. But you were lured in, whether it was through a book, a magazine, TV, a person. You were lured in.
I was attracted. You say, Lord, I was attracted. I was gravitated, and it's something that different things that resonated for me. And then for me, in my early 30s, of what, this doesn't work for me anymore.
Right.
My worldview changed. I lived longer in life itself. Things I experienced, the losses I experienced, made me think harder. And I said, this is not. No. And of course, doing other research too. When I started to read other sources than just the authors or the writers that believed the way I wanted to believe, the world almost opened up. And it's the same thing, whether it's politics, especially, or religion. If you start to read, what I used to do, I don't follow the news much anymore, but I used to, watch all of the different news channels, and then watch the more what's the word? Like Fox has their bias, CNN
has theirs, right?
I would watch both and go, all right, where are they coming from? What are they afraid of? Where are they going? Same thing for CNN. What are they ever? And then I would look at like Reuters. Which is supposed to be one of the more balanced ones. Like here's just what happened. They don't, as I found it, they were the ones that didn't put a lot of, politicized commentary or biased commentary on it. And then they put all that together and then go, okay, so this could be this, but it may not be. So, all right. So what's the point? Where are we going with this? Whether you're right or left. What's going to help this country? What's going to help the citizens of this country become a happier, maybe as prosperous, peaceful people, and everyone has a different idea. But what's truly
but at some point, everybody needs to come together, no matter what.
at some point, what's it going to take? A war? You don't want another civil war.
Well, they already just. I mean, look at the I was just watching before when the shooting with President Trump, former President Trump. Regardless, again, that's hatred. It could happen. It could have happened to Biden too. It doesn't matter. They're the president. This has been going on for years. I mean, look at Kennedy and look, they did it to Ronald Reagan. They all got fucking shot at some point. This is what?
And for all different reasons.
Right. And whether it's hatred or whether it's just crazy, it doesn't matter. It's dangerous. They're out there. I don't care how many people they have watching them, guarding them. I mean, look what happened. I mean, thank God he's still alive. His ear got grazed. I mean, but still. Now, a lot of people, they wanted him dead. I mean, they were out there. Now, all I seen was his granddaughter today. And I thought she was the sweetest thing. And she was just talking about him as a grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
And he was there watching her, and I was like, see, people don't realize the other side of the person. Right away, they're looking at,
right.
And it's hard. It's bad. It's somewhere.
Well, you and I were having this conversation before. Words have power.
Mm-hmm.
And you start to use rhetoric, and you start to give speeches. I don't care who you are, and you advocate, fighting and violence or division and. This is what's going to happen. I don't care where you stand on the political spectrum. Words, it's not freedom of speech. Your freedom of speech ends where my nose begins. Thing says. So if your freedom of speech is going to threaten my life, then it's not freedom of speech.
No.
And so I've said to people, do you really want to have another war?
Right.
It might be like it was in the Civil War, North versus South, but it might be something different. But still, do we need any more casualties? Do we need any more division? Are we that bereft or just at a loss to how to still try to come together?
But a lot of people believe that. A lot of people believe, let's go to war. Let's stop doing this. Let's unite that way. And I don't.
And how did that work out the other time?
Right. Exactly. Like, you could sit there and think that, but that's not. I'm not going to war. Like, you're talking about young people, and you know what I mean?
Solve anything. It's
not. It's not going to solve anything. It's not going to make things better. I don't see the logic in that. Right away, people are like, yeah, we got to go to war. No, I don't see that. You're just. That's killing more of our people, no matter what.
You want to tell somebody, all right, for a person that says we want to go to war, right? I said, you're going to shoot somebody in the head?
Right.
You're going to kill them? You're going to really?
You're not going to war. I'm not.
Yeah. Or what's it going to take for you? You're going to go out there and march in the street and advocate violence? or you just want to sit behind your computer and post,
Right.
Vitriolic, and make a diatribe and just curse and swear and just put people down. And I think this is another thing too that I think is important. When you have an opinion, again, I'll whether it's religious or political, have some ideas, have some information, have some facts that are tested before you start spouting off.
Right. All kinds of gibberish. Right.
They're wrong. They're evil. Well, why do you believe that?
Right. Where did you get your information from?
Answer with specifics. Don't just start spouting off, just garbage. You have to be able to, defend yourself. You want to fight? Well, first defend your position. Talk about it. What is so bad?
And a lot of people are talking all this shit now because they seen somebody else do it. Well, if they could do it, nobody's saying nothing, so could I. And then you look at that, and I sit there and I go, I just literally sit there and I'll look on social media, whatever, and I go, okay, what is this? Like, you look like a fucking moron. Since when did you start talking? Like, since when did all this shit become political to you? Like, and some of it is people that I know. And I'm like, you gotta watch what you say, because you're gonna come across the wrong fucking person.
Well,
you will. Somebody will come across the wrong person. And even on, whether it's in, out in the street, or whether it's on social media, which most people know, they could catch you and go, that's how you fucking felt? I saw you post. Yeah, what are you going to do? This is how shit starts.
Yeah, and
that's bad.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's so rampant because now we have the ease of just pushing a couple of buttons, on a machine, and the stuff goes everywhere.
Yeah,
it's not like your neighbor down the street. We grew up. We didn't. All you can do is pick up the phone.
Right. Or hang up on them. Right.
Yeah, you want to reach somebody, send a telegram.
Right.
5 days later, I changed my mind since then. Oh God. I won't.
And then we had caller ID.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not answering that schmuck.
Right. Yeah.
He's only going to want to argue.
My caller ID was when I was a kid. Hello?
Exactly.
Caller ID. Who is it?
We were the caller ID for our parents. They go, Barbie, go get the phone. Oh, we had to get up and go in the kitchen and get the fucking phone. Yeah. Ah!
And then there was code. The code was like, if when I used to work at this one deli, it was great. All these old timers, old World War II veterans, blue collar guys just hanging out, enjoying their meals. And when I'd have to answer the phone, a lot of these guys' wives would be calling because they'd be hanging out for way too long. So, I was told. So if a woman calls, is Joey Potts there? Hold on. Is Joey Potts here? And Joey Potts would go. No, Joey Potts ain't here. Sorry. All right.
Right.
That was the code, So, but yeah. So we have a lot to worry about, think about, pray about, talk about. In this country, we got with the election, of course, coming up. They've been talking about it since 4 years ago.
Yeah,
because everything is just so polarized and so far apart in so many ways. But I like what some people have said that I've heard online. Referring to believe in the broader picture. This country, I think, will survive. We'll go on. No matter who's the next president, who's the president after that. I don't really feel this country is going to blow up, in some sort of catastrophe. Could it? Anything can happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. When it comes...
But again, we don't know.
But we
really don't.
When it comes to America, I'll speak for America as an American, it's about money. It's always about money. It's been about money. And unfortunately, it'll always be about money. And that's, I think, what determines where things are going to go for the most part, and who gets to control it and who gets to, who gets richer at it. And I think we just find different ways to cope with that. So, my friend posted a quote, actually, today, which I thought was pretty cool. I'm not going to read the quote, but the part of it that I liked, that really resonated. I think this is so true. Where the guy said, let me grab it. Hang on. Stand by. And the writer was Kenneth Galbraith during an interview. And just one sentence, he goes, he's saying, the modern conservative is engaged in one of man's oldest exercises in moral philosophy. That is, the search for a superior moral justification for selfishness. And just that last part, to justify more for me, none for you.
Right.
Or as my grandmother would say, her famous phrase, he acts like, hooray for me and the hell with you.
Right.
We live in a world where there's just obviously what 6-7 billion people. I don't forget what last count where we're at, and most likely growing. The planet's still the same size.
Right.
Getting any bigger, but the population's getting bigger.
Exactly.
We're going to have to play nicer in the sandbox.
Mm-hmm.
We should be able to share a little bit more, but that's how you do that. I'll grant it. There are different ways to do that sensibly, wisely. So before people are going to, get up in arms, I'm not saying everything has to be, what's the word? Not without common sense and not without practical solutions. But I think that whether it's government or citizens, you have to have two things. You have to have compassion. You have to for people. You can't be cold. You can't be callous. But at the same time, you have to be wise.
Right.
Because if you're not smart, you're not wise, the compassion is going to be abused, misused, ineffective. The two have to work hand in hand.
There has to be balance.
Yes.
There has to be balance. That's the word to use, balance.
Yes, and we need leaders that are going to be able to try to at least make those two ends meet and try to, so maybe the new generation will get wind of what's happened. My generation is on the way out. I'm the last of the baby. I'm the youngest part of the baby boomer generation. Our time has come, is gone, and it's now the next generation and the one following. What can they do? What can they do better? What mistakes can they avoid that our generation didn't, or problems that we caused? So. And there's that. And now that we solved all the world's problems.
Well, again, the world needs lots of prayer. That's for sure. And for the people.
Yeah.
Gotta pray for a lot of people. Uh-huh.
And and someone, I like to say, prayer doesn't really change. It doesn't really change God, because if you believe in a certain sense of a traditional God, God doesn't need you to pray. If God, God is all loving, all knowing, all powerful. God is God. God don't need you to, just because you ask, God's going to go, well, because 55 people are praying day and night, that means I'm going to do.
No, that's not true, because listen,
it's a primal, very. What's the word I want to use? Almost infantile need. Oh God, Daddy, help me. And I get it. I still do that in times of crisis. But prayer changes us. It makes us more vulnerable, maybe more compassionate, more aware. That's the importance. Prayer is for us. It changes us. Sure, we can pray for our loved ones, and of course, and I do that.
And it doesn't always work. It's the same. And then a lot of people, like you're just saying, we could pray and pray and pray and pray and pray for something, something, and
people will often say, well, yes, prayer did, and that's great.
Oh, right. The power of prayer is great. Oh my God. Or thank you for praying for my so-and-so. They're healthy now. They're good. And that's wonderful.
Every person that had that, guess what?
But again, it's like when that person gets sicker or passes away, it's like God fucked up. He didn't listen to me. There ain't no God. And you can't do that either.
Or they'll say, well, the answer was no. That was the answer. And to me, that's a very lame.
But it's a being a selfish that, listen, I could easily turn around and for the many things that I've prayed about for people, not even for things. You don't pray for things. You don't pray for money. You pray to, for me anyway, I always prayed for people and to,
Easier to, I always pray for money now.
But
printing it in
material things you don't pray for, because that could always come no matter what. It's a human need. I do it. I'm not knocking people. It is, but my point is for a lot of things that I've prayed for that did not happen or that got worse, I never turned around and said, I don't believe in God anymore because he didn't make my prayers come true, or he didn't make... No. Listen, like you said, I pray for myself like not for myself, meaning I pray because it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
It does. It makes me feel good.
Spiritual practice. That's what's most important. It changes us. You
Right.
know, the results, it's nice when things kind of go the way we want, but when they don't, it's not because I think there's any kind of denied response. But some people, that's the only way they can process it.
Right.
Well, there's always an answer to prayer. It's either yes, no, or not now.
Right.
Okay, but that's a very limited elemental way of looking at it. But that works for people, and it's fine. If that works for you, okay. Now, I don't agree with that. I don't believe it. I think there's inherent problems in thinking like that. It's more that it's really random.
Right.
Why did somebody's kid get killed out in the street? There's no reason
or no.
for that. But some people have to attach a meaning to something, and so if that helps them, and I'm not gonna knock them, but I still don't believe it.
Right.
I just found that there's more problems when people put all these expectations on religion or God.
Right.
It's like if you put too many expectations on a government, the government is not going to solve all your problems.
Right.
Should it? That's not government's job.
Right.
Who was it? Thoreau had said, the government that governs best is the government that governs least. There's nothing to that. Not that the government should not sit back and do, obviously nothing. It's got to function. It is to help, the citizens, but to what extent? A certain point. But we should be self-reliant. We should be independent, and we should work and strive to improve ourselves. I think the government should work more, in tandem, hand in hand. But how do we do that? It's not one extreme or the other,
No.
But we tend to gravitate toward different polar opposites at times. And again, here we are. But I still am hopeful. I'm hopeful for this country, I and this world. I'm an American, but I'm a citizen of the world too. We don't live in a bubble.
Right.
Especially now with the global economy and the internet, we're so connected now. It's
right. Of course. With so many things.
Yeah. But
without a doubt.
So vote for me. I'm now running for the presidential office.
You're running?
And my platform will be everything and nothing. That's my platform. Everything. What do you believe in? Everything. What do you stand for? Nothing.
Yeah. We'll have T-shirts made tonight.
Right.
$5.99 each.
So inspiring. President Rawlings, what did he say? Everything. What does he need? Nothing. Oh.
I like him. Well,
it could be like a spiritual mantra. What is your spiritual? Everything is nothing, and nothing is everything.
Wait, what? I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's the whole point, right? It's the sound of one hand clapping.
Ow.
Okay. You look like you're a pilot, with the intercom on a plane, 747 59 are coming in for, and you got your thing,
I know, because I'm hot.
You're hot.
So it's bothering me.
I can see that.
That, folks, will always be in the podcast because at some point it will either be me saying this to you
oh yeah.
or to him. Oh, he's sleeping.
Wait, I'll fix that.
He can't hear. Wait a minute. Let me put the headphones. Go ahead, guzzle.
No, you put the head.
In Chris's world, it's 3:00 somewhere.
AM. No. You should put the where is it? You should put the headphones on them, and I could talk to him. I could do stuff like, "Hello, Thomas." Then he'd be like, Barb. She can't help you now. Barb.
Don't make me laugh. Stop. It's enough.
In the hallway. Barb, he's calling you on the phone. Nobody is there. Die.
Oh, my stomach! Oh, my God! Oh, shit!
Anyway.
That was great. Gonna have to edit that out. Thanks.
You might find it funny.
Yeah, I live with him. I'll show you how funny it is. Oh, God.
So
Good stuff. Fucking yawning.
I think we covered some good ground again. We got some episodes in. This is great. I hope that we get responses. Everything that we talk about. Some people may yawn. They may want to turn us off. They may go, give us the finger or whatever, or maybe totally enamored and inspired by every word we say. But whatever that,
Right.
We want to get something. We want to be better at what we do. We want to improve. We want to, of course, get an audience together and take over the world. But
well, seriously, I mean, I think it's this is all new to us as well as it is, for everybody else that's watching. And
right.
But again, it's practice makes perfect. We don't know where this is going to go, and this is it. Yep. This is us. That's the bottom line. We'll either make you laugh, we'll make you cry, we'll make you throw up, one or the other. Either way, we'll make you go to sleep. Either way,
we'll make
like
you
Tommy.
In your sleep. No, sorry.
Either way, it's good. No, but
we hope to. Definitely, engender, some attention, maybe some enthusiasm, some opinions, and I'll do my best to try to answer people at this stage of the game. When I have 5,000 messages in my inbox, and that may be a little different, but for now, I would welcome comments, constructive criticism, not just name calling,
right.
Really, solve anything. If there's ways we can make things better or communicate more, reach a wider audience, we want to know, want to find out and learn more about.
Exactly. I mean, and then they could reach us on Facebook,
yes,
or they could check us out at YouTube at Everything Nothing 2210. I believe that's 2010. I believe that's our YouTube channel, and it would be nice if we get a few comments or whatever it is. As long as we appreciate the liking, the subscribing, and Facebook, which I already had people share already. And again, some people don't have YouTube, so I know my sister had mentioned that she said as soon as she gets home, she wants to look at the whole thing from May 30th.
Right.
She wants to sign up to YouTube, and she can't wait for us to do a live.
Right. So
what are you laughing at?
let's just go out with some music.